A prominent Nigerian televangelist is sparking intense debate with explosive claims about the history of violence against Christians in the country. Apostle Michael Olowokere made the remarks during a recent sermon that has since gone viral on social media. The preacher alleges that the root of terrorism and mass killings of Christians in Nigeria stretch back decades, long before recent security crisis. He claims he grew up in northern Nigeria, already knowing that Christians were endangered species. Let's take a look.
1992-93 in Kaduna, a riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. Young, but very, very young then. And people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riot, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riot? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then, even though my father was a Muslim then, but because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians.
All right, everyone's speaking up now, Rufai. And these are serious historical claims from the preacher, and they've, clearly struck a chord, particularly among Nigerian Christians, who say his account reflects experiences that have been overlooked far too long. The question many are now asking is, when did targeted attacks against Christians actually begin? Was it decades ago, as the apostle suggests, or gradually escalating over time? Or is it primarily tied to more recent insurgencies and banditry, as authorities often claim at the moment? Rufai, he highlighted different aspects from, I believe, 2014 all the way down to the time of Goodluck Jonathan. He mentioned names and talked about how banditry started, how terrorism started, documented facts. I mean, I encourage our viewers to, go watch the full clip. It was about 15 minutes. I know you wanted to speak on Wole Soyinka as well. I'd like for you to tie in both stories, and I'll take this.
See, I have seen a lot of ignorance. I'm playing to the gallery since this conversation started. I can see a lot of folks now think it's a fight between Christians and Muslims. It is not. And I've repeated that for the upton time.
Yes.
Secondly, there are extremists across every religion. Every religion. Yes, as extremism across every religion you can think of. As long as there's a religion, there's a belief system, there are people that take their belief system to extreme. That's what extremism is all about.
Well, I think the point he's making, that's Professor Wole Soyinka, in terms of extremism, he's talking about the killings that have occurred so far. I don't think that we should compare apples and oranges here about the extremism in terms of religion in that regard.
Oji, I'm making my point,
Yes.
and I know where I'm going.
Okay.
You cannot make my point for me.
Okay.
They are extremists.
But you have to explain what you mean by
across
extremism
every
in
religion.
the other religions.
And I succinctly explained, Oji, by saying that as long as you have a belief system, which is a religion, there are extremists across that.
Okay.
What is happening in this regard, all right, is genocide against Christians. Muslims too are being killed. We get that. But the people that this killing has happened selectively and that they have complained in Benue, Yelwata, and other areas are Christians.
Correct.
And it passes the law of genocide because replacement is also happening. They can't go back to those communities. All right? So if Wole Soyinka is talking about extremism, no, this is just persecution and genocide killings against Christians.
Islamic extremists, that's what he meant, yeah.
So people, extremists, Islamic extremism,
That's what he meant.
I do not think it's right to put terrorist killing groups that have an agenda under extremism. I do not think so, because it's not right. Because it's an orchestrated agenda. And guess what? They do not kill solely for that intent. They also engage in criminality, they also engage in crime, and they set out to kill a particular group of people. So I'm just trying to make a clear decision out of it. Secondly, what this reverend is saying, it's not today. We all know about the Zango-Katav riots.
Yes.
We all know, even way back, the Zango-Katav has spanned many years. Interreligious and ethnic problems. But the rabbit hole a lot of people are pushing the narrative to that I don't want us to go to is the fact that, oh, it's Christians against Muslims. Because so you have extremists, Christian mentality, then you have extreme Muslim mentality. And I'll give you a very strong point. While some people are trying to push this argument that it's Christian-Muslim, one of our analysts that used to normally come here, Dahiru, was saying, and he came out clearly on television saying, I'm a Muslim, but I don't support what the Sultan said to mitigate the fact that there's Christian genocide in this country. So does it mean every Muslim think like that? No. There are some Muslims that know that there's Christian genocide, and they're speaking up against it. Dahiru spoke.
They are speaking up against the Islamic extremists.
So let's be clear as regards this.
Right.
That's just the point I'm making, because there's a lot of ignorance. And people, when they go the path of ignorance, they also go the path of extremism.
All right. So I'd like to read out these statistics as well before I come to you. In another development, meanwhile, presidential spokesman Daniel Bwala is intensifying his pushback against what he calls a false narrative of Christian genocide in Nigeria. Bwala, who has been making multiple global appearances to counter his characterization, appeared on our nightly news program Primetime to discuss the Tinubu administration's approach to insecurity and the diplomatic fallout following President Donald Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations. During the interview, Bwala defended the government's record, arguing that the Tinubu administration has made significant progress in tackling insecurity. He went further, claiming that the crime rate in Nigeria is actually less than the crime rate in the United States. Let's take a look.
What we call the fallacy of media generalization. And I'm saying that right now, given our present state, the crime rate in Nigeria is less than the crime rate in the United States of America. With all of the budget, the strongest economy and the strongest force in the world. It's a matter of context. You don't hear that in their news. We have our opinion about them. You see, gone are those days where our own story is told by others. Context is key in everything. We know the problems we are combating and we are faced up and we are working towards. But that is not to suggest as if we're an isolated country in this side of heaven that has a peculiar problem that they don't have. The United States of America has even the problem of understanding what democracy is. The other day, was it a 2 million march that they said no king? Is that not a democratic country? I told you about the crime rate in America. Do you know the system? The government was shut down. Our government is not even shut down. You see, this continuous vituperations and repetition of word around corruption, bad governance, bribery, and the rest that they talk about, which part of the world they don't have that?
Well, actually,
which part of the world they don't have this?
Wow. I mean, Bwala's controversial argument claiming that insecurity is worse in the United States will definitely raise eyebrows both domestically and internationally. Critics will ask, are we really comparing gun violence in America with mass abduction, bandit attacks, and what many communities describe as religious persecution in Nigeria? Are these comparable situations? We're not talking about gun violence. We're talking about banditry. We're talking about serious terrorism where Boko Haram is in the waters right there, shooting and killing people, 100, as reported by Zagazola Makama just on Monday. Your thoughts?
Well, as a media aide to the president of a nation, the most populous black nation on earth, I would have hoped that he would understand the fundamental distinction between crime and terrorism. So crime is something that is self-motivated. I see an opportunity to rob a bank, I rob a bank. I see somebody wealthy and I think that I can steal their necklace, I steal their necklace. It's an individually driven illegal act. Now, when we speak terrorism, we speak of ideology, we speak of doctrine, we speak of organized groups of people who are doing coordinated acts in order to achieve whatever their end goal is. Look at that exchange between ISWAP and Boko Haram. You can't compare that to crime. Those are organized groups of people, well-funded, well-armed, and now look at them. They're even well-equipped with logistics. They have boats, they have motorcycles, they have all manner of paraphernalia to enable this ideological movement, illegal ideological movement they're pushing. So to try and downplay that and reduce that to crime, it is a fundamentally flawed argument because intrinsically they are totally different things. Right. If you go to the United States, you will not see herdsmen with AK-47 terrorizing people who are trying to make a living off of their small plot of land to feed their families. Right. And then when it's time to legislate around restraining, the herders and the movement of animals and so forth, it is not a contentious issue in the United States Congress because there's a awareness that human beings have greater rights than animals. Right. That's why we talk about fundamental doctrine, ideological differences.
Correct.
Please, let's not compare apples and oranges.
Absolutely. Rufai, he also, though, reeled out to his defense, responding to President Trump's, what's it called, the rescue mission, that, the Tinubu administration has, gained a lot after that tweet and, reeled out the numbers of this people that have been killed so far by our military forces.
I don't think Daniel Bwala has a moral justification to talk about this issue.
30 seconds, please.
Because this was the same Bwala that left the APC because there was a Muslim ticket. Why did he leave the APC because there was a Muslim ticket then? If not for the fact that it was not going to augur well and for the fact that we had a lot of complaints on ground.
All right.
And his conviction there was that as a Christian. So the question we should ask him is that what changed?
Right, all right.
Secondly, that's a territorial battle going on. And that goes back to my point about extremism. That these people, they have sponsors, they have intent, they have ideology. In fact, a lot of them perpetrate crimes on Muslim sacred days. So if you say it's about the tenets of a religion, that's why I say, let's not go into the rabbit hole of pitting religion against each other. They perpetrate on Muslim sacred days. Right. And what they are doing now is fighting for supremacy.
All right, that's it.
To be able to guard each other's territory. So it's a deeper problem we must look at.
We must tackle insurgency, and that's the biggest problem. Well, amidst growing apprehension, after Trump ordered the U.S. Department of Defense to prepare for possible action in Nigeria over reported killings of Christians in the country, actor and comedian Emmanuel Orekai has issued an emotional appeal to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the federal government of Nigeria, demanding urgent action to address the nation's security and economic challenges. While in his latest social media post, the comedian welcomed Trump's offer to eliminate terrorists in the country while criticizing those who claim that the United States has ulterior motives other than the rescue mission. Let's take a look.
You say that Trump is coming to pack your resources. Which resources? Which resources? My brother don't graduate in seven years. He don't see work. Many graduates are there. They don't see work. Graduate is doing a work of 70,000 a month. 70,000 a month. What are you benefiting? What are you benefiting as a Nigerian? What are you benefiting? They're kidnapping your people every day. If they're going, you will travel from here to local journal. If they're not kidnap your papa. But they kidnap full boss. Nigerian police cannot say anything. Nigerian army cannot do anything. But as Trump talked with yesterday now, Nigerian army say they don't kidnap, they don't catch 17,000 people, 7,000 So you can catch these criminals since you are waiting for Trump to talk. You are waiting for Trump to talk. No food, no water, no road, no light, no health care. Go to UBTH, go to any hospital, go to Zaria, go to any hospital, and see the problem there. So they want to come and see, they want to come and take your resources. Which resources? Is it your cassava? Is it your oil? Is it the gold that I didn't pack in the gold before? Your ass are pregnant and pack the gold. Money will they give local government share money to do road. He do the road. He do the road and they ask you. You're making math in comment section that they want to park your resources. Which resources do you have? Are you benefiting interest in Nigeria?
I mean, his frustration right there speaks loud.
Yeah.
I mean, some people were cracking up, but at the same time, he spoke the valid truth.
This is what the street
This
is
is
saying.
what it
Let
is.
me just say it in the street.
Yes.
This is what the street is saying.
Which
If
resources
you ask the average man, it's like, you people are shouting about resources. The one that
Is
is
it your
not touching...
cassava?
Because they don't
only-
benefit.
Yes, because only a few people
only the few
benefit.
people, politicians
I'm
eat all
not
the
saying it
resources.
is right. We do not want America to come and take advantage of the situation. But I want you to also understand that sometimes when your own people have failed, the biggest insult is now to ask outsiders to come in and help us. But I think it's important, Oji, that both comedians, everybody is learning their voices in whatever language people can understand. It has to the form of art, of comedy, to music, to stage plays. Let us get the message out there until a solution is done.
Well said. We must all speak out. Thank you all for your submission.